What's up everybody, welcome back. So it's Mega Go Battle Day in Pokemon Go, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Mega Charizard X in the Master League. Now even though Mega Y is ranked higher than Mega X, I do prefer Mega X because it's just so cool in the way it looks, and also more importantly because of that very unique fire dragon typing. It's going to only take neutral damage from water moves, and also it's going to get stab on both Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw, right, which can be really useful against the current meta. And for this particular team comp, I'm going to be running it alongside Yveltal and Sylveon. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say that none of these Pokemon are XL. They're all just level 40 because I still want to preserve my Charizard for Master Premier Classic when it does come around in the future. I know we don't have Master Premier Classic in Season 11, but hopefully it does come around in the future seasons. But anyways, even without these Pokemon being level 50, it was still able to put in a lot of work. And also another cool thing about this team comp is that all three of these Pokemon made their first appearance in Gen 6. Obviously, both Sylveon and Yveltal are Kalos region Pokemon. Well, even though Charizard is obviously a Gen 1 Pokemon, Mega Evolutions were first introduced in Gen 6, and which happens to be my favorite season. And also, Mega Charizard X is without question my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. So anyways, there were some really fun battles in here, and let's just get straight into it. Moving into the first battle here, we have Yveltal into a Garchomp. So this is actually a pretty good lead because they are running Dragon Tail, which is doing quite a bit of damage, but I don't really have to worry about the charge moves, right? They're probably going to go straight for the Sand Tomb. So I'm going to overfarm as much as I can and go for the Dark Pulse here, and it does get the shield, which is fantastic. And I'm going to try and deny the Dragon Claw. Luckily, we were able to do it. Going for the second Dark Pulse here, and we get two shields. Now, this is fantastic because, again, Charizard is going to do really well with the shield advantage. I'm going to let this go through. It is just a Sand Tomb. We can easily survive that. And because we snuck an extra Snarl through on the previous, when they threw the Sand Tomb, I'm going to be able to get to a Dark Pulse here, right? We do survive the Dragon Claw just enough to be able to get off a Dark Pulse. And this Dragon Tail will KO, that's okay. And at this point, we can just come into the Sylveon and farm this Garchomp all the way down, right? They're going to go for a move. This is just going to be a Sand Tomb here, too soon to be anything else. And we should be able to farm down. And they come in with their Mega Y. I'm going to immediately switch into my Mega X here, and now they make a switch into Kyogre. Now, this is one of those very specific matchups where obviously Mega X performs much better than Mega Y because it's only taking neutral damage from those waterfalls, right? As you can see, Charizard actually does pretty well against Kyogre in this situation. I'm going to definitely shield the Surf here, and then going to overfarm as much as I can, and then go for the Dragon Claw just before they can get to another Surf. So Dragon Claw is going to do enough neutral damage to take out the Kyogre, and then Mega Y is going to come back in. Of course, they're going to win CMP because obviously Mega Y has a much better attack stat than Mega X. But I'm going to be able to go for the Dragon Claw here. This is only neutral, but it's going to put it pretty low here. And then we're going to be able to farm down with Dragon Breath, right? But I'm just going to switch to catch the Dragon Claw and Sylveon. Wasn't really necessary, but just going to do it anyways. And we're going to be able to charm down there. So pretty solid start. And moving into the next battle here, we have Yveltal into a Metagross. Pretty solid lead here. And they make a switch to that Mega Gyarados. Here we go. I mean, obviously, as you'd expect, we run into a ton of Mega Gyarados here. So which is exactly why we have Sylveon, right? Sylveon is a pretty decent matchup against Mega Gyarados here, although do have to watch out for, as you can see, those Dragon Breaths are really adding up in spite of being double resisted. So I'm going to have to shield the second Aqua Tail just to make sure I can take out this Mega Gyarados here. Expecting the Metagross to come back in and farm down, but I'm just going to go for the Moonblast right now. I'm really hoping that we can get an attack debuff from the Moonblast and we get an attack drop. That is fantastic but unfortunately they're going to be able to farm down, but that's okay. Yveltal has such a good matchup against Metagross, but they make a switch into that Groudon, and I come into my Charizard and I realize that this Groudon is actually running Dragon Tail, which is not good for Charizard because it's taking super effective damage from the Dragon Tail because of the Dragon typing. But I'm going to try and get to a second Dragon Claw here, and luckily I'm able to do it just in time. Now this is going to either put the Groudon pretty low or get the second shield, which is fantastic, and also ends up being a CMP type. Now this really opens up a win condition for me because I can just let this go through and then come in with my Yveltal. I'm going to do just one extra Snarl, and then I can just let this go through. There's going to be a Fire Punch on the CMP here, but we're going to go for the Dark Pulse right now, and we're basically 3 Snarls away from another Dark Pulse, right? There's no way Metagross is going to be able to get to 2 Meteor Mashes here. So I'm going to be able to come in with my Yveltal, go for the Dark Pulse. But they get to a Meteor Mash, I can just shield this up, and then we should be able to get off a Dark Pulse, and that's going to do enough super effective damage to take out the Metagross from this range there. So again, pretty close battle. Honestly, if the Metagross had a little bit of an energy lead, we probably would have lost that, but it was luckily we were able to pull it off there. Moving into the next battle here, we have Yveltal into another Metagross. So this is a really solid lead once again here. And they are staying in, which is pretty surprising. Actually, I was expecting them to switch. I'm not going to shield this. We can survive 1 Meteor Mash and get off 2 moves here. But they go for Psychic. I'm not sure if they misclicked or if they're not aware of Yveltal's typings, because you definitely don't want to be going for Psychic in this matchup. I go for the Dark Pulse here, and then I'm going to overfarm a little bit more and go for another Dark Pulse right now. Let's see if they want to give up their second shield. They actually let that go through, which is fantastic. And they come in with their Mega Gyarados. This is a Waterfall Mega Gyarados, and I think this time this is a level 50 Gyarados. So I'm just going to go straight for the Focus Blast here. here. It is super effective. It does get the shield. At this point, we have a 2 shield advantage, but this game is still not over because, again, Waterfall Gyarados actually does pretty well against Sylveon. As you can see, those Waterfalls are almost doing as much as Charm is doing to them. So I'm going to have to shield these Aqua Tails here because I don't want my Charizard to go up against the Gyarados. And I'm going to try and get off the Psyshock because even though this is double resisted, I just want to do as much chip damage as I can. That barely does anything. That almost does as much as one Charm does. But anyways, we're going to go down to Aqua Tail. This is okay. I can come with my Charizard and get a little bit ahead on energy, right? So we're going to be able to get slightly ahead on energy here. And they have a Mewtwo in the back. Can we get a Blast Burn? We get to Blast Burn just in time. Yeah, this is going to do massive neutral damage. And pretty much one-shot the Mewtwo there. So luckily we had a little bit of an energy lead, honestly, because Mewtwo significantly outpaces most of these Pokemon in the meta. So anyways, moving into the next battle here, we have Yveltal into a Mega Latios. Now, this is a pretty solid lead, but although, like I said, because my Yveltal is in level 50, we're still taking quite a bit of damage from these Dragon Breaths. And also, it's going to be a Dragon Claw on CMP here. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. This is almost for sure going to get the shield because this is super effective against Latios because of the Psychic typing, and then I'm trying to get to a Dark Pulse. We faint just as we get to it. That is very, very unfortunate because at this point I'm going to come in Sylveon, try and farm down, but they have a lot of loaded energy, right? I'm thinking this is going to be a Luster Purge, which just ends up being a Dragon Claw. They're probably slightly short of the Luster Purge, which is why they smartly decided to go for the Dragon Claw there. Unfortunately, we had to burn a shield. And that kind of ended up costing me this game. Yeah, I really needed that shield towards endgame. And they have a Togekiss here. I really can't switch out because Charizard X doesn't have a great matchup against Togekiss because of that Dragon subtyping. But luckily we land the Moonblast, which is great. We're probably going to Simul KO here, which is okay. And then they have a Melmetal in the back. Now, this is a very dangerous bait game right now. I'm just gonna let the first one go through because unlike Charizard Y, Charizard X only takes single super effective damage from Rock Slide because of it doesn't have the flying subtyping, right? But I'm gonna have to shield this, and at this point, I'm gonna actually build up as if I'm gonna bait, and then I'm gonna go straight for the Blast Burn, hoping that they call the bait, but they shield the Blast Burn. That is absolutely terrible for me because we are just one Dragon Breath short of the Blast Burn, and they're gonna be able to get to a Rock Slide, and that's gonna be a good game. Honestly, I could have probably baited, but it was a 50-50 either way. I had to take that chance, unfortunately. It didn't pay off this time, but obviously really cool to see a Mega Latios as well. Moving into the next battle here, we have Yveltal into a Togekiss. Absolutely terrible lead here, immediately switching into the Sylveon. And Togekiss leads are always kind of tricky because it's good that they are staying, and actually obviously this is a high level Togekiss, so obviously they're going to have a better matchup against Sylveon. The good thing is Sylveon can outpace Togekiss, right? So I'm going to at least get a shield from them. They are going to commit to the complete Charm farm down, which is okay. But this is, again, like I said, slightly tricky. I'm going to come in with my Charizard here, and now they make a switch into their Landorus. So this is, again, I do have to watch out for Stone Edge because Stone Edge or Earthquake, actually, both of them would kind of one-shot Charizard from this range. So I'm going to shield this up because we still have 2 shields. But they bait with Superpower here. This is unfortunate, and at this point I'm going to try and farm down, but they get to another move. I kind of lost track of the energy count, so I'm going to shield this up. Just ends up being another Superpower. So really, definitely didn't have to shield that because that was debuffed as well. But we are down a shield at this point. Out comes Togekiss. I'm just going to go for the Dragon Claw because they have a lot of loaded energy right now. I really want to pressure that final shield. But they don't give up the shield, immediately switching into the Yveltal to hopefully try and catch an Ancient Power. But they go for Dazzling Gleam. That just one-shots the Yveltal there, and they have a Mega Gyarados in the back, and this game is over. I mean, there's nothing I can do here, especially with the shield disadvantage and health disadvantage. These Dragon Breaths are absolutely going to chunk, so I decided to just top left there. So again, certain situations where you come up a little short, but overall it was... Like I said, overall this team is positive. We have Yveltal into a Gyarados here. Again, the good thing about this matchup is that you're going to at least force one shield because I'm just going to go straight for the Focus Blast. We do get a shield from the Gyarados. We sneak an extra Snarl in as well. And they're going to go for a move. They actually go straight for the Outrage. Also, this is a Legacy. I think it's a level 50 Legacy Gyarados with Legacy Fast Move, I should say, with Dragon Tail. That's pretty cool to see. But they make a switch into their Metagross. I'm going to immediately switch in my Charizard here. I'm going to call the Meteor Mash, and luckily it's just a Meteor Mash. And at this point, I'm actually kind of worried if it's the double Steel line with Gyarados in the lead because that could be pretty troublesome for Sylveon in the back, right? If they have a Melmetal or something. So I'm going to shield this up here, and then we're going to go for a Blast Burn right now. I'm going to try and go for it as soon as I can because these bullet punches are really adding up. And my switch timer is almost back up, so I'm going to immediately switch in my Sylveon as they come into their Gyarados, right? They are still staying in. These Dragon Tails are double resisted. We're doing so much damage. And the best thing they can do at this point is go for Aqua Tail. But they actually go for Outrage, which is definitely not the play. I don't know if they're running Aqua Tail or they're probably running Outrage and Crunch. But they have a Garchomp in the back. It ends up being two Pokemon that are weak to Charm. Moonblast absolutely destroys the Garchomp there. And Gyarados is going to come back in. We're going to be able to charm this thing down there. So luckily they had two Pokemon in the back which were weak to Sylveon. And that ended up working in our favor there. Moving into the next one here, we have Yveltal into a Mewtwo. This is like the dream lead. This is such a beautiful matchup. And there's a Mega Altaria. This is one of the coolest Megas, honestly. It has such an amazing typing. It just looks so cool as well, right? It's because of the Dragon Fairy typing. But even then, Sylveon is a pretty solid matchup against it. Dazzling Gleam does so much damage, obviously, because it has Stab as well, coming from a Mega Altaria. But we're able to farm down. Out comes Metagross. I'm going to be able to get off this Moonblast here, but this game is over, right? They have two Pokemon in the back which are weak to Yveltal, and this game is pretty much over. I'm going to come in my Charizard because I want to preserve the Yveltal for the Mewtwo. And at this point, I'm thinking this is just going to be a medium match because I thought they just did about 7 bullet punches or something. But they go for the Earthquake. They actually had enough energy for Earthquake, which is kind of surprising. But anyways, we still have Yveltal with 2 shields against Metagross and Mewtwo. I'm going to be able to go for the Dark Pulse. They shield that. We have another Dark Pulse ready to go. Dark Pulse is either going to get the second shield or take out the Metagross, and at this point this game is over, right? Because Yveltal with a shield advantage against Mewtwo, all I need to do is get to 2 Dark Pulses here. I don't care even if they double bait, I'm going to shield this up because they're not going to get to a nice beam or something. They realize their only win con, they go straight for the Focus Blast. Luckily we shielded that, but yeah, this game is over. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. They're still staying in, trying to play it out, but the second Dark Pulse is definitely going to do enough super effective damage and take out the Mewtwo there. Mewtwo, honestly, especially on Mega Go Battle Day, I don't think it really has too much play because of the number of Dark types there are in the meta, right? So we have Primarina. This is probably one of the worst things that you can see because Primarina actually, it's one of those Charmers that also resists fire moves, right? Because even so, in that case, Charizard honestly also doesn't have any play against it. Sylveon is my only response. And they come in with their Groudon. This is not good because I need to preserve the Sylveon to do some sort of damage against the Primarina, right? So I'm going to farm up a little bit more, go for the Psyshock to try and pressure a shield from the Groudon. They do give up a shield, which is okay. And I'm going to shield this up as well. I really need to be able to charm down this Groudon. And if they come back with their Sylveon, I need to at least get a shield with Psyshock, right? And they're going to come back with their Primarina, and I'm barely able to get to the Psyshock here. I'm really hoping that they give up a shield right now because even though Primarina resists fire moves, Blast Burn is still almost going to KO from this range. They actually make a switch to their Mega Latios. I'm going to go into my Yveltal here and able to get to this Dark Pulse as well. I don't know, they probably overfarmed there, but Dark Pulse is definitely going to take out the Latios from this range. And out comes Primarina. They're probably going to be able to farm down, but I'm going to be able to go for Dark Pulse. And like I said, Primarina is kind of glassy, so even though it's resisted, this is going to do quite a bit of damage as it does there. And this puts it into Dragon Claw range. So I'm going to come in with my Charizard. We still have a shield as well. I'm going to be able to get to this Dragon Claw here, and this is going to do enough double resisted damage to take out the Primarina. Primarina is definitely a little bit of a scary Pokemon to see, but I think if you're able to land some charge moves, it still does quite a bit of damage there. Moving into the next one here, we have Yveltal into a Dialga. It's about time we ran into a Dialga here, obviously one of the most common Pokemon in the Master League meta. And the good thing is that we can win the Zero Shield, right? I don't really have to shield this. If they want to win this matchup, they have to commit a shield. And I'm going to go straight for the Focus Blast right now. And it does get the shield. Unfortunately, they're going to be able to farm down, which is not ideal because Sylveon is also going to take super effective damage from Iron Head, right? So I'm going to come in with my Sylveon because at least these fast moves are applying no pressure. So I'm going to shield this up. And because they're slightly ahead on energy, they're probably going to get to a second Iron Head here. So at this point, I'm going to try and catch the Iron Head on my Charizard. This is resisted because of the steel type, because of the fire typing, I should say. And they have a Mega Gyarados in the back. Now this is okay because we still have a almost full health Sylveon in the back. So I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here, and it gets the shield as well, which is perfect, right? And also because this is a Waterfall Gyarados, they're not going to be able to farm down. And I can come in with my Sylveon, I can go straight for the Moonblast right now. This is going to do massive super effective damage and take out the Gyarados from this range. And they have a Giratina Origin in the back. Now this is kind of a tricky situation because Giratina Origin is going to do quite a bit of neutral damage with these ghost moves, right? They make a switch in their Dialga. This allows me to get slightly ahead on energy. And then I should be able to get to a Moonblast, but for some reason I go for this Psyshock. That is like a big misplay on my part because we were like one charm away from the Moonblast. For some reason I thought just going for the Psyshock and going for the charm down would be enough, but unfortunately Giratina gets to a move and we go down there. So heartbreaking, honestly, I threw that game. I definitely should have won that, but moving into the next one here, we have Yveltal into another Mega Gyarados. So it's becoming almost a routine now, running into Mega Gyarados in the lead. So I'm just going to go straight for the Focus Blast here. Don't have to shield this, probably just going to be an Aqua Tail, which still does quite a bit of damage, but going to be able to go for this Focus Blast here. And they actually let this go through this time, right? This is absolutely fantastic because we're able to farm down And if that was a level 50 Gyarados, Focus Blast actually wouldn't one-shot, especially from a level 40 Yveltal, but that was actually an under-level Gyarados, which kind of ended up working out for us. They come into their Togekiss, I'm going to chip away with Dark Pulse. This chip damage is really crucial because this is going to allow Sylveon to be able to come in and charm down, right? So I'm going to be able to come in with Sylveon. Hopefully I can farm this thing all the way down. I'm actually going to let this go through. Hopefully we can survive, but they actually go for an Ancient Power here. That's not ideal. So I'm going to do one extra charm, come in with my Charizard, farm this thing down, and they have a Kyogre in the back. So at this point, it's a 2-shield Charizard against a 2-shield Kyogre, but you're going to see how well Charizard is going to do against Kyogre. So I'm going to shield this up. Definitely have to shield all these moves here, but luckily we are slightly ahead in energy, and all we have to do is deny those extra waterfalls here. So I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw here. And it does get the stream from the Kyogre. I'm going to build up to 2 Dragon Claws right now. Unfortunately, they sneak an extra waterfall through, but we should live that waterfall to get off the next Dragon Claw, right? I'm actually going to be able to actually deny the waterfall as well, get to another Dragon Claw. And we still have a loaded Psyshock and Sylveon if need be, but Kyogre is going to go down anyways there. So pretty close one. Again, Charizard able to come in and close that game out. We finished with the 3-2 set. I actually did like a couple of sets with this team, and I went like 3-2 in both those sets. So overall, not the best team out there. Obviously, might have performed better with level 50 Pokemon, but overall, it was pretty solid. So a lot more. I'm going to try and bring out as many videos as I can for these different Mega Evolutions. So stay tuned for that. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.